100 days, 100 movies. Today is Fight Club. I might keep this one really short. I mean, what can I say about Fight Club? It's Fight Club. Synopsis. I mean, if you haven't seen Fight Club, it's basically this guy throws away all material possessions for self-destruction because he's sick and tired of the day-to-day life. That's pretty much it. It's kind of like a dream of some people to do stuff like this. I get it. Like, the monotony of, like, life can be horrible. I mean, I haven't experienced an office job, so I don't fully get it yet, but I can understand. Some people just want to throw away everything and just start beating each other up, and I think that's honestly, like, a pretty relatable thing. I mean, there's one line where it's like, who cares about self-improvement? How about self-destruction instead? I think that's kind of, it's funny, but it's like, it's kind of like a goofy little thing that people wish they could do. I mean, I feel like every person has that desire just to go up and start beating people up. It's kind of like a weird thing to say, but like everyone kind of has that desire just to start fighting someone. It's, I mean, it's funny, but it's kind of reality. There's a big twist at the end. I'll try not to spoil it. Fine, skip, like, hit the thing 2 times if you just want to skip this. All right, 3, 2, 1. Tyler Durden is basically just the narrator. The narrator doesn't have a name. It's just they're the one and the same person. It's a split personality thing. It's actually very similar to Psycho, and I really liked that. So yeah, that's out of there. Yeah. We're coming back. We're winding down from the spoiler. It's an interesting premise. I like the twist at the end. I like kind of the whole setup to it. I think it's pretty interesting. It shows the downsides of anti-materialism, but when going into it, you think it's an anti-materialism film because he does all that, but you kind of realize the insanity of the situation, the insanity of, like, these kind of radical people that go crazy, basically. Anti-materialism is a pretty common thing, and honestly, anti-consumerism is not necessarily a bad thing. Kind of going away from the greed of the world and stuff like that. You have to purchase and have things. These things make you. I feel like that's kind of a, like, good thing to move against, but this kind of shows the downsides of the insanity that some people go to with anti-materialism. I can see that, like, certain people, like, go crazy with ideals and stuff like that and can lose what really makes something real. In this movie, it basically just turns into a terrorist organization because they're so anti-materialist. They just want to destroy everything, which I think it's kind of funny. It shows just the insanity of some, like, radical movements and some radicalists. It's definitely, like, a crazy over-the-top perspective on that whole idea. Again, it's relatable to a point. The first bit of it, you can kind of see he's like, all of his items get destroyed in the fire, and he's like, you know what? Why do I need them? They don't make me. I make me. And then he goes on and creates Fight Club, which is basically just people beating each other up to relieve tension, basically, and kind of express themselves in a very bizarre way. It's kind of funny. Jared Leto is in this, and he gets his face punched in, and it's very funny. Most people don't like Jared Leto, including me, so it was kind of funny to see that. My dislikes, this movie just feels so edgy. I mean, that seems really stupid, but, like, you get that feeling. I like the grittiness. I love the environment, too. I love the darkness that it has, and the blood and the gore is, like, really disgusting, and I feel like it gives you that, like, gritty, like, kind of disgusting vibe, but I feel like it definitely, to a degree, it feels just kind of edgy, like when he's, like, talking to the camera and it starts to shake and stuff like that. I feel like it's like, okay, man, it's all right. There's a point of that where it's like, it's kind of making fun of people like this, but there's also a point where it's being edgy just to be edgy. It's being different just to kind of stick out and make itself seem very, like, different. But again, there's a part of it that's meant to be like that. I think this is still a very good film. I really like some of the concepts it's going with, but I can see people have problems with it, and I can see why people love this so much. I can see why this is a lot of people's favorite movie, because it's a kind of deep film, and it has a lot of, like, hypocrisy to it, and has a lot of, like, conflicting ideas that makes it really interesting. People can look at this from two different lights and still have a good movie at their fingertips, which I think is really cool. Favorite scene has to just be the intro monologue. He's talking about his inability to sleep and stuff like that, and how the only way to sleep is if he cries, which I think is kind of funny. And this whole thing where he, like, goes to different support groups and he'll make up crazy lies about himself and how he has all these problems, but in reality he doesn't. But it's just him being able to let loose and feel like he's dying and being able to talk to these people who truly have nothing left. It makes him, like, able to sleep, which I think is really interesting. And then he opens up Fight Club, which is a twisted version of this idea, and I think that's really fun. So yeah, it's Fight Club. I might revisit this film and kind of do a like deeper dive into why it's so beloved, but I don't have time for that, and I don't really feel like touching upon it right now. But there is definitely a lot of depth to this film that makes it so intriguing. I give it a 9 out of 10. It's not one of my favorite movies, but I can definitely see why it is other people's favorite movies. So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to come at this movie saying it's like overrated or anything like that. I think it might be a tad over. Like people really love this movie, and I can see it, but I think it's, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's as incredible as some people say, but I do see the draw to it, and I think it is an interesting movie in its own degree. But, like, there's nothing much to say. Like, I could go into a deep dive, but that would take way too long. So, yeah, that's Fight Club. It might seem like I'm conflicting here, but overall, I think it's a good movie, and you should definitely go see it. So, yeah, that's Fight Club.